Hey everybody, and welcome back to Easter weekend. My name is Luke from The Gospel House, and today is Saturday, April 11th, 2020. In the last episode, actually, we talked about the betrayal and the crucifixion of Jesus. In detail, we talked about how Jesus was crucified, and before that, his betrayers gave him a kiss saying that this is who I'm going to betray, and then they sent him over to Pilate. You all can check that out in the description down below if you haven't already. Now, we are going to be talking about in this episode, after Jesus has just died and taken all of our punishment, now we're going to be talking about the burial and the concerns that the people have after Jesus has died. This is going to be a very short episode, by the way, so let's get started. So today we're going to be in Matthew 27, 57 through 66. And go ahead and flip your Bibles over to there and let's get started. So Matthew 27, 57 through 66. When it was evening, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who was also a disciple of Jesus. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus, and then Pilate ordered it to be given to him. Joseph took the body and wrapped it in clean, thin shroud and laid it in his own new tomb, which he cut out in rock. And he rolled a great stone to the entrance of the tomb, and he went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were sitting on the opposite side of the tomb. Now, that was a little portion, but we'll continue in a little bit here. So, we're going to be talking about the taking off of the cross. This is basically after Jesus has just died, after he just took his last breath. So, Joseph of Arimathea, which I forgot to cover last episode, I'm sorry about this. When Jesus was carrying his cross, he didn't carry it alone. Joseph of Arimathea is actually, it just said in there that he was a disciple of Jesus. Yes, he buried Jesus, but also in the last episode, I should have mentioned that he also helped Jesus carry his own cross, so that way he didn't have to carry it by himself, because when he was smacked and spat upon and stuff, he was probably really tired. He couldn't carry that huge thing. So Joseph of Arimathea helped him carry the cross up to Golgotha. And now he is going to ask Pilate. He asked Pilate to, if I can take the body of Jesus and finish it for burial in the tomb. And Pilate agrees to it. He says, sure, why not? Go ahead. So then after he takes Jesus off the cross, he cleans the wounds, blood came out of. So he cleaned him up, as it says right here, that he took special care. He took really good care because this was the king that he believed, which we believe now, is the king of the universe. So he took Jesus off the cross and he cleaned the wounds, and it said he wrapped him in clean leavened shroud. And now he is actually going to be placed into the tomb, which it says a brand new carved tomb. He made sure that Jesus was going to get a special treatment. Although he was dead, he was going to give him the special treatment of a new tomb that he just carved out of rock. Also in John 19:41, that it says that he was placed in a garden tomb. A tomb in a garden, obviously. It's by a garden, which actually says that in Israel, you can actually go to the tomb and it's going to be by a garden. That's actually how we can find the real tomb that he was placed in. And then woman came to seek Jesus' burial. They came to watch as Jesus got buried, which probably was a devastating time, because especially Mary Magdalene was probably very, very upset. And it said the other Mary, which the other Mary is the mother of James, probably other women, but they just mentioned them too because they're pretty important, especially Mary Magdalene. The woman came over to seek Jesus' burial. They came to watch as Jesus got buried because it said that they were sitting on the opposite side of the tomb. So now we're going to go down to 62 through 66. The next day, that is, after the preparation, the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered together before Pilate and said, "Sir, we remember how that impostor said, while he was still alive, 'After 3 days I will rise.' Therefore, order the tomb to be made secure until the third day, lest his disciples go and steal him away and tell the people he has risen from the dead. And the last fraud would be worse than the first." Pilate said to them, "You can have a guard of soldiers. Go and make it secure as you can." So they went and they made the tomb secure by sealing the stone and setting a guard. As you can see, after he was placed in the tomb, now we're going to go to guards and concerns. So basically, if you paid attention to that, the Jews were actually afraid of what Jesus said. So it said it right there that Jesus said that he was going to raise himself up in 3 days after his death. And they were kind of afraid because they were like, okay, he says he's gonna wake himself up in 3 days after his death. How is that even possible? But they're scared for their lives. But not only that, they think the disciples are gonna steal Jesus' body, and that's how they're going to say Jesus has risen. They're going to roll back the stone and they're going to take Jesus' body. That's how it's going to go down. Yeah, Jesus is going to be risen, or the disciples were going to steal his body. So Pilate told them to put guards in front of the rock, and that's basically all we have. I told you this was a very short episode, but as you can see, the Jews, there's a lot of concerns going on here. What we need to know is that tomorrow is going to be the happiest day for our faith, because now Jesus is going to rise from the grave tomorrow morning. So I really hope you guys did enjoy today's short episode of Easter weekend, but I really hope, although this was short, hopefully you meditated on a couple of things. Go ahead and rewind the video just in case if you forgot a couple of parts, and be sure you read Matthew 27:57 through 66, these little verses, Matthew 27:60, which is a part of this, and John 19:41, which was talking about the garden tomb, which you can find in Israel today. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you guys have a safe and fantastic rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow talking about the resurrection and the spreading of the gospel. My name is Luke from The Gospel House, and I'll see you tomorrow with the resurrection and the spreading of the gospel. God bless you all, and happy Easter.